Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of ShipHero Feature Walkthroughs. I'm joined today by Joseph Haas, our VP of Product, who will be showing off one of our latest amazing and powerful features, the Packer Performance Dashboard. Take it away, Joseph.
All right, thank you, Dano. So today I want to show you a new feature that we're releasing called our Packer Performance Dashboard. What this dashboard tries to do, and we'll get into the details, but what we're trying to do is give you an idea as a warehouse manager, who are your packers that are performing well, which ones aren't performing as well, and give you actionable insight so you can improve the performance. One of the challenges we've had in trying to evaluate packer performance is understanding the different type of orders that are packed. So we can show you, and we do on this live shipping board, how many items or how many orders different packers have packed throughout the day. What it doesn't tell you is, are those orders more complicated than others? So you have one packer who's packing orders that have 10 items that each have to get individually wrapped, and another packer maybe is packing items that go straight in the box that are easy and quick to pack. So it's not always a fair way of understanding and really evaluating performance of your packers, just looking at how many orders or how many items they're able to pack in a given hour or over the course of a day. So the performance dashboard tries to give you a much more granular and statistically sound way of understanding your packer performance. So we'll get into those details, but just want to give you an overview of what the dashboard looks like and what data we're showing, and then we'll get into actually how we're calculating that score. So as you can see, the dashboard shows you a list of your packers, and in the time frame, and it could be today, it could be a week, it could be whatever time frame you specify, how many shipments and how many units they've packed. So that's just straightforward, similar data as the live shipping board. How many orders and how many units have they packed that day or during that time frame. The next thing we show you is the clock time. Now that is if you're using Workforce Hero, the amount of time that they've been clocked into packing. So this just gives you straight amount of time, how many hours and minutes they're clocked in. And then we show you what is the recorded time for packing actions. So this is what we're automatically checking or automatically tracking as your packer is packing an order, how much time are they spending on each order. Because we know that throughout the day, while they're packing, not every minute is spent packing. After they ship an order, they may be moving the box, they're grabbing a new tote. There's always some time lost in between, but we want to show you how much time are we actually tracking for that user packing activity. So for example, that first user, they've been clocked in 2 hours and 53 minutes, and 2 hours and 5 minutes we've recorded actual packing. And that's a productivity score of 72.28. That's just a simple percentage time that they've been packing versus how much time they've been clocked in overall. Now, that alone doesn't tell you what they've been doing during that time, but just tells you how much of the time that they're clocked in are they actually packing. The last column is the score that we assign to each packer. And that score tells us, is this packer packing above average, average, or below average for the orders that they're seeing. So as we'll get to in a minute, we evaluate each order and see what is the estimated amount of time this order should have taken versus how much it actually took, and then we can assign a score to each packer. So let's get that into a little more detail. So first of all, if I click on a packer, you can get a little more idea of how many orders did they pack above or below average. So here you can see for each shipment, we look at better, average, worse, or not available. So for each order, we look at the expected time it should have taken. Did they pack faster, around the same, or slower? Or did we not have an expected time for that order? And then so we show you that breakdown so you can see for this packer, how often were they above average, how often were they below average or average. And we can go into more detail. So if I click on view orders, we show you every single order that we evaluated in this time frame. So as you can see, you see the time, the exact order, if it's a 3PL, who the client is, whether it's a multi-item batch or single item batch, and then how many units were on the order. Then the expected time. So the expected time is really where all this takes place, all this calculation takes place. So for each order, we look at what is the expected time based on previous orders that have been packed. Now you can see if you jump here to the method, you can see if we looked at an identical order or similar orders. So if we've seen this order before, and if we've seen this order enough times, we will assign it an average expected time that should take to pack this order. So you can see on the first order, for example, we expected a minute 34 seconds because we have identical orders that have been packed before, and we know that this order should take a minute 34. In this case, this packer took only 55 seconds, so they're 41% better than the average. So that's obviously a great score. And as you can see, as you go down, each order is evaluated based on the expected time versus the recorded time, and we assign it a score. So you can see, for example, these scores were excellent, right? 69% faster, 57% faster. So these orders, this packer is doing really, really well, above the average expected time. Now, not every order do we have identical orders to compare it to. We also have what we look at as similar orders. Now, similar orders are orders from the same client, same amount of products, um, we've seen that before. Now, we're evolving that over time. So looking at other ways to identify similar orders that could be based on the number of items, it could be based on the total weight or cubic dimensions, other factors that we're taking into account. And over time, we're going to try to improve a similar order because we know that a similar order doesn't always mean it's the same. Doesn't always mean that the expected time is the same. It could be different orders have larger items, or maybe they have to be bubble wrapped or packed differently. So we want to try to improve that algorithm to identify orders that are similar and we can compare in a fair way. So we do weight those less, similar order versus identical orders. So the more identical orders we have, the more accurate the expected time and the score will be. So as you can see, you can go down this list and see every order that was packed. Some orders, for example, this one was pretty bad, 39% longer than expected. Um, and you can really dial in for this packer what orders do they do well with, what orders do they not do well with. And maybe that's a training issue. You just need to train them how to pack these certain orders better. Or maybe there's just orders that they're not very good at. We've definitely seen packers that can do really, really well if they have similar orders that are same type, same customer. Maybe they're really good at the bubble wrap or really good at making the inserts, for example. And other packers may not be good at that. So this is a way to really understand where your packers perform well and where they don't. And some people just aren't good packers. That's another thing you can look at. So from the high level score to really understanding on each individual order how they did, you can see some of these orders they did pretty poorly. So we expected 42 seconds and they're consistently over a minute. So maybe this is just not a good fit for this packer. Maybe they just need better training for these particular customers. So this is a great way to really understand at a granular level your packer's performance. Now, another thing to mention is those ones that have NA, and those are simply ones we didn't have an expected time. Maybe it's the first time we've seen any order like this. Maybe it's a new customer. We just don't have enough data. If it's NA, we do record it here, but it doesn't factor into the Packers score. So we're gathering that data. We'll use it once we have enough of it. We do want to show it to you, but it won't affect the Packers score. Now, back in the dashboard, a few other points about how you can use this dashboard. So one thing you can do, first of all, is you can see up here, you can turn off packers that are less than 30 minutes. By default, any packer that's in packing less than 30 minutes is not shown. And we do that just to try to remove people who just started. Maybe they're just getting their day started. We don't want to show a bad score when they really only packed for a few minutes. So we have that turned off by default. You can also filter by position. And position is something you can set up on the user. So for example, if you have temps coming in, have your temp assigned as a temp position, and then you can very easily see how your temp's doing. So one of the ways where we see there's really a lot of value in this dashboard is being able to see the temps that you have, how are they doing in an objective way. So sure, you can stand there and watch them, but this is a way to objectively look at all your temps, see which ones are performing well, which ones you may want to keep, which ones you may not want to keep. So if you are in a warehouse that has a lot of temp labor, this is a great way to really understand which of the temps are working out, which ones aren't. Another thing to mention is that this data is live. So by default, we show today's data, but you can always go to date and look at previous time frames. And it is updated in real time. So as you're your packers are packing, you'll see their performance change over the course of the day. So that's an overview of the Packer Performance Dashboard. This is our first dashboard that really uses statistics and looking at the actual activity in the warehouse. And we do hope to add over time picker performance dashboards and other dashboards that can give you real insight into your employees and how they're performing. And we found this in testing to be a great way to really understand which are your packers that are doing well, which ones need more training, which ones maybe shouldn't be packing. And I think brings a lot of value to your warehouse operations.
Thank you very much, Joseph. This is a really powerful tool. I really love it. And if you'd like to check out other feature walkthroughs, click on the top right corner right now. And if you're ready to unlock your e-commerce fulfillment superpowers, visit ShipHero.com to schedule a call with us. Thank you for watching and have a great day.